What's up, everyone? My name is Jack, and welcome to yet another episode of Jack Talks Tech. Whether you're listening to the podcast via Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcast, thank you. We appreciate it very much. Now, before we proceed, I've got some spoilers for you. This episode is going to be awesome! But seriously, I just like to promote the new podcast that I am proudly part of. It's a spin-off to the PPD show. It is called Podtitos and Podtitas of the PPD. We currently have 2 episodes already. First one is the full cast of the PPD show, and the second episode that was released yesterday, we have Miss Shari of the Pet Chai show and Miss Rhea of Coffee na Lang Dear. In addition, I'll also like to thank all the 100 listeners of Jack Talks Tech. You know, when I initially started this podcast, I didn't know or didn't even expect that this will have a listen at all, aside from myself right after I have uploaded the episode. But as of now, this is the 7th episode, but technically I have 9 uploads already. So to all the 450 plus listens, again, thank you, and I really appreciate it. Just like to inform everyone that our podcast is a 5-time number 1 at Apple Podcast Tech News category.
On the 5-time WCW champion. Now can you dig that?
Again, maraming salamat sa inyo. Now, during the past couple of weeks, I am receiving a lot of questions on how to start a podcast. And I only have one answer for each and every question. Just press the record button. While everyone is trying to accomplish something big, they do not realize that life is made up of little things. Alright, now that's out of the way, let's proceed to what you really came in for. Here are the top tech news of the week. Apple is now worth $2 trillion, doubling in just 2 years. Apple is the first US company to boast a market value of $2 trillion, just 2 years after it became the first to reach $1 trillion. Their shares have gained nearly 60% this year as the company overcame the shutdown of factories in China that produced the iPhone and the closure of its retail sales amid the coronavirus pandemic. The company's loyal customer base trusts its product so much that they continue to buy iPhones and other devices online while they are stuck at home. Well, Apple recently reported blowing out earnings for the April to June quarter. Apple has been at the vanguard of a group of big tech companies that are increasingly taking over people's lives. And of course, the stock market. Just 5 companies. They are Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, and Google's parent company. They account to nearly 23% of the top 500's entire value. On a related news publishers join Epic Games in asking Apple for lower App Store fees. For the second week in a row, Apple is being asked to cut down its App Store fees. After Fortnite publisher Epic Games sued Apple last week in a confrontation over the 30% tax Apple charges to developers on its App Store, trade organization Digital Content Next, which represents publishers including the New York Times, the Washington Post, and CNET parent company Viacom CBS, want that 30% fee dropped to 15%. Just like what they charge to Amazon. So as I have reported on the previous week's episode, Fortnite was no longer available in Apple's App Store and Google Play stores. So ang nangyari kasi dito, si Fortnite nagkaroon ng direct to Epic payment system within the Fortnite app. So it circumvent or bypassed the 30% Apple tax or Apple fee. So ang ginawa ni Apple, tinanggal niya sa App Store. After that, ang ginawa ni Epic Games, nag-file ng lawsuit against Apple. And aside from that, they are also holding a Fortnite event themed around its Apple lawsuit. The hashtag Free Fortnite Cup will celebrate one more victory royale with friends across all platforms. Actually today, 23rd of August, with prizes including an outfit for a tart tycoon, a character featured in a parody of Apple's 1984 ad. So the top scoring players across regions, they will receive a free Fortnite hat, which is clearly themed on the Apple's classic logo. Players on iOS and Google devices will be left behind on Chapter 2 to Season 3, while everyone else jumps into Chapter 2 Season 4 launch on August 27. In a tweet posted later on Friday, Epic announced that Fortnite's upcoming Chapter 2 Season 4 will be themed on Marvel superheroes. As things stand, iOS owners will not receive the updates. Epic's battle with Apple escalated with the filing of a temporary restraining order this week, which was Epic's attempt to stop the iOS firm from removing its developer access, including support for Unreal Engine. The Fortnite maker, or Epic, claimed on Monday that Apple had informed them that as of Friday, the 28th of August, their developer accounts and iOS and Mac development tools will be cut off. This would prevent Epic from creating software for Apple's platform, including the Unreal Engine. Epic said that it had requested a temporary restraining order in an attempt to stop the action and released Fortnite on the App Store. Now, on a related news, Apple says Epic is putting the entire App Store model at risk. Apple has responded to Epic Games' antitrust lawsuit over its iOS App Store policies. It accuses Epic of disingenuously creating an emergency by accepting direct payments through the Fortnite app in violation of Apple's rules. In a declaration to the court, Apple executive Phil Schiller wrote that Epic CEO Tim Sweeney asked for a quote-unquote special deal with only Epic that would fundamentally change the way in which Epic offers apps on Apple's iOS platform. When Apple declined, Epic changed its policies to cut Apple out of in-app purchases. Now, the company argues that Epic's ban is its own responsibility. So ayan, laglaga na si Epic at saka si Apple. Elsewhere in the filing, Apple laid out a defense on its in-app purchase rules. Quote-unquote, if developers can avoid the digital checkout, it is the same as a customer leaves an Apple retail store without paying for shoplifted product. Apple does not get paid. It reads. Epic CEO has called Apple's characterization of the series of events leading up to Fortnite's removal as misleading, as he initially requested in an email that the App Store exemptions Epic sought, to be made to all iOS developers, not just with Epic. I'm gonna put the link on the description on the official tweet of Epic CEO Tim Sweeney, but it reads, Apple's statement is misleading. You can read my email in the Apple's filing, which is publicly available. I specifically said in Epic's request to the Apple execs, we hope that Apple will also make these options equally available to all iOS developers. Ayan na, naglabasan na ng mga evidence. Naglabasan na ng resibo. Shout out to MR. Now, Apple has responded by saying, the App Store is not simply a marketplace. It is part of a larger bundle of tools, technologies, and services that Apple makes available to developers. A court hearing is scheduled for Monday, so that's tomorrow, to determine whether Apple can remove Fortnite from the App Store for violating the App Store rules. So ikaw, which team are you in? Team Apple or Team Fortnite? Let me know via tweet at JerkyJack. Okay, let's proceed to the next news. TikTok removed more than 380,000 US videos this year for hate speech. TikTok, as we all know, it's known for short videos of people lip-syncing and dancing to their favorite songs. Sikat na sikat yan dito sa Pilipinas, especially during the lockdown period. On Thursday, TikTok said that it removed more than 380k videos in the US this year for violating its rules against hate speech. The company also banned more than 1,300 accounts for hateful content or behavior and took down more than 64,000 hateful comments. TikTok defines hate speech as content that intends to or does attack, threaten, incite violence against, or dehumanize an individual or group of individuals on the basis of protected attributes like race, religion, gender identity, national origin, and more. In addition to that, TikTok will still continue to operate its hit music video app in the US, regardless of the Trump ban. Whatever comes to the threatened Trump administration ban on its business, according to their senior executive, Vanessa Papas. Na marami ng mga big companies ang nalilink para bumili ng US operations ng TikTok. However, the senior executive declined to comment on the deal negotiations, but she said that she will try to provide staff with multiple forums to express their fears and concerns openly, including their weekly town hall sessions where she would answer questions from TikTok's 1,500 US employees anonymously. She said that the company hasn't seen any exodus of staffers and pointed to India, where ByteDance has continued to pay workers despite a ban on TikTok in the country. And speaking of companies that wanted to buy the US operations of TikTok, Oracle reportedly in talks to acquire TikTok's US operations. So the enterprise software giant Oracle is reportedly in talks with ByteDance about potentially buying TikTok's operations in Canada, US, Australia, and New Zealand. According to the Financial Times, the company is seriously considering the acquisition following preliminary talks and is working with the venture capital firms. So for the past couple of weeks, Microsoft has been considered a frontrunner as a potential buyer, and although Twitter was interested in a deal as well, reports indicate that it doesn't have the financial means for one. ByteDance hasn't publicly revealed the price, but it's expected to be quite high as TikTok has reached its global success despite facing scrutiny regarding its privacy practices. Now, if you wanted to know more about some of their issues, you can listen on the previous episode as I have discussed some of the flaws and some business practices that wasn't disclosed to the public upon signing up with an account with TikTok. Pansin ko lang past couple of weeks, it's either Apple, Epic, or Fortnite, and TikTok yung mga tech news natin. Well, anyway, let's proceed to the next news. For the first time, a photo of the upcoming GeForce RTX 3090 graphics card have emerged. The card named RTX 3090 appears to occupy 3 slots on the motherboard, as the I/O bracket clearly has 3 fingers. It is also much longer and wider than the RTX 2080. I'll make sure to link the picture on the description for your comparison. The photograph showing the backplate appears to feature the RTX 3090 label, but it is barely visible. According to the leaker, the card could retail at $1,400 or a whopping 68,000 pesos converted. However, as mentioned many times, pricing is impossible to confirm even hours after the embargo, as NVIDIA tends to change the pricing even at the very last minutes. Unfortunately, the specifications have not been confirmed yet, but the card is believed to feature a GA102 GPU with at least 5248 CUDA cores and 24 gigabytes of GDDR6X memory. This model is NVIDIA's reference design, also known as the GeForce RTX 3090 Founders Edition. Now, NVIDIA is set to announce the RTX 30 series on the 1st of September. With the current generation of NVIDIA graphics cards, the highest is RTX 2080 Ti. I'm not considering the RTX Titan So hanggang 2080 lang sila. Same as the previous generation, which is GTX 1080 or 1080 Ti. It sounds interesting that NVIDIA has, will introduce again a 90 something, or in this case, the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3090, because it hasn't been done for quite some time. If I'm not mistaken, the last NVIDIA GPU that has 90 on it was the GTX 690, released back in 2012. The rumors of performance from Ampere and the new GDDR6X memory have the GeForce RTX 3090 packing somewhere between 40 to 50% more performance over the GeForce RTX 2080 Ti. So for context, the RTX 2080 Ti, it's the most powerful graphics card as of the moment. Now, once the RTX 3090 has been released, it's rumored to have 50% or 40 to 50% more performance than what's the best graphics card that we have right now. So, I'm not sure if it's, logical to purchase that high end of a graphics card considering the situation that we have right now. But I think for gaming enthusiasts, they will still have some reason to buy this upcoming graphics cards from NVIDIA. Kaya for me, medyo compelling pa rin talaga yung new generation of consoles from PlayStation and Xbox. The rumored price is, around $500 or even $700. That's a full console compared to a graphics cards that is worth somewhere between $1,400 to $2,000. Graphics cards pa lang yun. Yung PS5 or Xbox Series X, it's a full console. It's basically a computer now. So to all my tech enthusiast listeners, I know you are tech enthusiasts. That's why you're listening here. What would you prefer? An RTX 3090 or PS5 or Xbox Series X? Let me know on Twitter @JerkyJack. And speaking of PS5, let's proceed to the next news. Or should I say, last news of the week. The DualSense triggers will lock up when your weapon jams on PS5. Now, Sony recently went live with its first global ad spot for the PS5, showcasing many of its unique selling points. Alongside this, the console manufacturer released a blog post inviting developers to explain how they plan to take advantage of these new features. One of the most interesting uses will be that when your gun jams in death loop, the adaptive triggers on the DualSense will lock you up, preventing them from being used. The game director for Deathloop revealed that they will do a lot of things to make weapons feel differently from one another. One is like blocking the triggers when your weapon jams to give, to the other players an immediate feedback even when the animation plays out, which prompts the player in a physical way that they have to unjam their gun. Parang 3D effect na yun ah. So, kung wala ka ng bala or jammed yung magazine mo dun sa, probably this is a first-person shooter game, hindi mo magagamit yung controller. Something to that effect. The creative director for the upcoming Ratchet and Clank explained that the adaptive triggers are something that they are excited to feature in the game. So for instance, the Enforcer is a dual-barrel shotgun type weapon. As you pull the trigger, you'll fire from the barrel or from one barrel, and you can feel resistance around halfway down the trigger. So if you need a bigger blast, you need to pull the trigger through the resistance point and you'll fire both barrels at the same time. Parang realistic na. Now, according to Polyphony Digital, they will use the feature to make Gran Turismo 7 even more lifelike. With the president of the makers or the creators of Gran Turismo says, they're thinking most effective use on how to use the adaptive trigger. It's for representing the operation of the anti-lock brake system or ABS while braking. A typical ABS release brakes pressure intermittently while the driver applies pressure to the pedal. The adaptive trigger is suited for recreating this pedal feel, and it will allow the players to accurately feel and understand the relationship between braking force and the tire's grip. Now, the full blog post and many other developer conversation, I will make sure to link that on the description so you can find out more information about the DualSense triggers from the PS5 controller. Alright, so that's all the top tech news that we have for this week. There's nothing else left to do. Hit that like button if you like this type of content. Give me a follow. Subscribe if you aren't already. And And I'll see you in the next one. Assuming that we all survive. Let's make the needy techie. Peace!